Well, you know what? I mean, it's obviously one of the elite defensemen in the league. He's having an outstanding season. He's the top scoring defenseman in the league. You look at our hockey team, we've been able to put the puck in the net up front. And we just thought if we can get a little more offense from the back end with a guy that's been proven, he's an NHL draft pick. All reports on him is from a character standpoint, he's outstanding, comes from an incredible family. So he was a very coveted guy, and there was a lot of conversations, and it took us almost right down to the wire. But he's a guy that we really targeted and really wanted to bring here to Sudbury. And on the other side of that, you have to be able to move on from good players. And Nolan Jackson is not just a good player; he's just an unbelievable young human being, and he's going to have such a bright future. And it was a hard one to let him go. But when you're trying to bring in the league's top offensive defenseman, it's going to have a price. Like when you look at our team from last year, a guy that played such huge minutes for us was Andre Anania, and really Noah plays a very similar game where there's not a lot of wingers that like to go down his side of the ice. He's a very physical player, very professional when you talk to him. Like he comes from a great pedigree, understands what it takes to be a player, to be a pro. Plays the game hard, plays the game honest. And when you talk to forwards on our team, he's one of those guys that they would identify as somebody that they just don't like playing against. Well, he's a guy that we liked a lot. I mean, when we drafted Finn, they played together in North York with Kieran Walton, so we saw a lot of them. And at the end of the day, when you get here a couple years later, we just felt for Andrew. It was a good opportunity for him to get a fresh start. And Carson's a guy that we've liked right back from. I remember the COVID year going to watch him in some of those skates that were taking place at Countryside. Again, another guy that comes from a great family, and being right here locally, he's with the Cubs. They're right in our backyard, and he's playing, and he has a great opportunity to work with Mike Lawrence and Matty Mayhew, and really continue to get the coaching while he's getting the playing time there. Yeah, I mean, Jack's an exciting addition for us because with these new rules, you saw some of that going on this week where we were able to acquire a player without having to use a current roster player or any of our draft picks. So he's a guy that goes back to that 2005 COVID year. He came up through the system with Hamilton and in the Burlington area. Had a real good OJ career in with Mississauga. And he ended up out in Trail. He's fully committed to RPI. He has a full scholarship, and he was somebody that in the last couple of weeks they reached out to us to see if we had an opportunity. And we started to watch video. We had our coaches watch his video. So he's a very intelligent player, makes plays. You know what? He's a good sized guy. He's close to 6'2", and he's a right shot forward. So he just brings another layer to our hockey team that we felt was great. And we had good conversations with his coaches in RPI and where he's going, and we're excited to get him in here. Well, you start the year off, and I guess our philosophy is let's wait and see how it goes. And there's a lot of people that like to try to predict what's going to happen in March, back in August, and we've never taken that approach. We want to let the games happen. We knew we had a great new staff coming in here. We have great players that were returning. We brought in some other real key additions to our team, and you've seen the response. I mean, so competitively, this team has been outstanding. We're extremely well coached. We just believe we have three of the elite overage players in the league. We've got some really good forwards up in our top six, and we just thought, we got to give this group some support here, and we got to give this group a shot. I mean, our record right now is better than it was a year ago with a different team on paper. So we just felt everybody in that dressing room earned the efforts that we had to put in this week.